Hot take, but I think you should be able to vote, and I hope you will too by the end of this video. Okay, so today, for obvious reasons, a lot of people are being very clever and making lists of things that felons can't do, one of which is vote. I'm not a supporter of his by any means whatsoever. I just think we shouldn't be celebrating the fact that felons can't vote. Let me explain why. A study out of Georgia from a few years ago tells us that about 8% of people have a felony conviction on their record, which is probably a lot higher than you probably thought. That's just under 1 in 10 people. That's just the overall population. When you break it down by demographic, 33% of black men have a felony conviction on their record. Data out of California tells us that about 25% of those who have felony convictions received them before the age of 21. The thing is, it isn't that racial minorities commit more crime, it's that our criminal justice system specifically disadvantages people of color. Those without money, those without means, those without power and influence, those are the people who end up not being able to take a plea deal, not being able to hire an attorney who can get them a lesser charge, not being able to just talk their way out of it. Not allowing those with felony convictions to ever vote again is just one of the many ways marginalized and oppressed people in this country continue to be disenfranchised. I mean, imagine being a young black man getting in trouble at the age of 19, and then for the entire rest of your life not ever being able to vote for the people or the laws that you are going to have to be governed by for the whole rest of your life. I mean, think about gerrymandering. Whenever the party in power specifically rearranges voting districts, there's all sorts of voting districts in this country that basically make it so that marginalized and oppressed people's votes do not matter. Now, here's the thing. There's one last point that I want to make, because I know that some of you are going to hop in the comments and say, well, that's what you get for breaking our laws. These are our laws and you shouldn't break them. And to that, I have to say, I worked in the criminal justice system for a hot minute. It was the juvenile justice system. It was nearly 20 years ago. And I became so disillusioned with the system, I don't work there, obviously, anymore. But it did teach me one very important thing, and that is the distance between people like you and I, people that are not currently in prison, and those who are, is very, very slim. Because chances are you've probably done something that could have landed you in jail. You could have run a stop sign when nobody's looking. Maybe you got home and realized that you had something in your hand that you didn't actually check out at the store and thought, oh crap, I technically just shoplifted. Maybe you did something wrong and you got caught, but because of the way you look, maybe because of who you know, maybe because of how much money you have, maybe because you've got a great lawyer, maybe you were able to talk your way out of it, maybe you never saw the inside of a courtroom, maybe you never saw the inside of a jail cell. But if you are somebody who still believes that convicted felons shouldn't have the right to vote, ask yourself why, and ask yourself who that benefits. If convicted felons are disproportionately people of color, if they're disproportionately marginalized and oppressed groups, who is benefiting from them not being able to vote? And are you the kind of person who wants to support that vested interest in keeping those people silent? Anyways, felons should be able to vote, especially if they've paid their debt to society. Thank you, goodbye.